What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video. Now today, we got a little video coming in reporting from Browns camp. As you guys know, the Cleveland Browns went out and played the Philadelphia Eagles, our starters versus their starters. We got a lot of feedback. And just so I can be a little bit unbiased, most of the feedback that I'm reading comes from the Eagles beat writer. So most of this is coming from majority what I'm hearing from Eagles camp. I got a lot of different stuff that I heard from one of the Browns reporters, but you're not really allowed to record or to be tweeting out stuff. Certain media access is denied on full 11 on 11 camps just because the teams are really trying different things and trying out different plays and play sets against each other. So that's real interesting nonetheless. But what I will say is that the Browns and the Eagles got a lot of feedback from both sides, good and bad. First thing first, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and Jack Conklin went down with an injury. Jack Conklin had a head injury, maybe due for a concussion. We're gonna pray that he's not pray, but we're gonna hope that he's all right. With him having a concussion right now, he should be cool for week 1. Denzel Ward was practicing and he walked off the field with an illness. Don't know how you catch an illness while playing football. Maybe his breathing wasn't right, or maybe he was coughing a little bit. Felt a little bit under the weather. Myles Garrett looked like he fell or somebody fell into him or something like that. Got a very minor foot injury. He walked off the field smiling. He had a big smile on his face. He walked to the bus barefoot, came back off the bus to sign autographs, smiling. So it seems like Myles is pretty much okay. Mary Kay asked him, was he okay and was he all right? He responded and said, when you get a little bit older, stupid stuff happens. Sounds like he's pretty fine. I wonder if Myles will practice tomorrow. We play the Eagles 2 practices in a row, and then we play them on Thursday. When we play them on Thursday, it's going to be majority backup starting. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, let's get into majority of what we heard back. So first thing first, honorable mention, Anthony Schwartz had a really good day. A lot of people didn't notice it, but Anthony Schwartz barely dropped any balls, but he had a really good day. He had a deep 60-yard touchdown that he was out of bounds on. He had another deep pass, winning one-on-one. So he had a pretty good day. It was good, and it was exciting to see that Anthony Schwartz stepped up and had a good day against the Eagles. And hopefully that could build him some confidence, and we can see how he looks against the Eagles in the preseason game. Same goes for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had a pretty decent day. He completed most of his passes. He threw a pick. He only threw 2 picks this whole time in the preseason. In the training camp. So him coming out and he got a pick. Denzel Ward picked off a play with Devonta Smith. So it was really interesting and good to hear that the Browns put Ward on Smith and Martin Emerson on A.J. Brown. Probably because A.J. Brown's a bigger body. But Martin Emerson still guarding the number 1 corner is very interesting. It's something to pay attention to. Speaking of Martin Emerson, he did a really good job on A.J. Brown. They got a draw and they one-on-ones. Martin Emerson got a big stop. A.J. Brown caught a big ball. Some really good, high-level, talented stuff going on there. So it was really interesting to see that MJ can hang with the stars. Martin Emerson might be a star corner, and a lot of people has been reported from camp that he's the best corner in camp. I wouldn't go that far yet. I want to see him play for real. I want to see him out there. We're going to see him week 1. We're going to see how he do against T. Higgins. We're going to see how Ward does against Jamar Chase. And that's how I kind of go off of doing it. I wouldn't go out of there on a limb and say Martin Emerson is going to be the best corner. But it's a lot of people in camp that believe he could be the best corner in this division by the end of the year. And that's very interesting that he had a great day and a good back and forth with A.J. Brown, one of the top 5 receivers, if not the top 7 receiver in the league. Another thing, and the most important thing, the Browns' defensive line had a day. Very interesting stuff here. The Eagles' offensive line, if not us, the Eagles is the best. The Eagles is the best offensive line in football. It's either us or the Philadelphia Eagles. So it was really interesting to hear that our D-line really got up after them. They gave up like 11 sacks or something crazy like that. They said, Hurts got sacked 7 times on 28 dropbacks, which is insane. Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith had a day, and that's very interesting because if the Eagles' offensive line can't do nothing with us, or if the Eagles' offensive line has struggles with the Browns' defensive line, the Cincinnati Bengals week 1 is in trouble. The Pittsburgh Steelers week 2 is in trouble. The Baltimore Ravens week 4 is in trouble. If our defensive line is getting the Eagles problems, this is one of the best defensive lines in football. One of the best defensive lines in football. And that's something to really pay attention to and to really keep an eye out. And it's really interesting to see that. So we're going to see how they play and how they participate and how they look. I don't know if Miles will take tomorrow. Now, on the negative side, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper had a couple drops. Watson, they said, went to like 10 for 17. But that's including the drops. He had a tip ball that was going to somebody, and they picked it off a tip. David Njoku was pretty much uncoverable. Amari Cooper had a lot of targets, but he was getting a lot of drops. He dropped the ball like a couple of times. It's very interesting. It seemed like Watson in comfortable situations was spamming Cooper and Njoku. So Elijah Moore wasn't out there though. So we got to keep that in mind. Elijah Moore didn't practice. So those are his number 2 targets. Anybody out there for fantasy. It sounds like Washington's pretty comfortable with going to them too. You don't know why DPJ didn't get that many targets. That's going to be something to listen to. Maybe DPJ takes a back seat to Elijah Moore. Yeah, a lot of interesting stocks going up and down with the reports at camp. Elijah Moore going up, maybe DPJ going down a little bit. Denzel Ward maybe going down a little bit. Martin Emerson stock is rising up. Shelby Harris debuted and participated in practice, which is really good to see. But overall, this Browns defensive line was the story of the day. The offensive line struggled against the Eagles defensive line as well. From what I could hear, no touchdowns was scored. And on the final 2 big drives, nobody made it even close to field goal range. So they said the Browns won overall in practice. The Browns had a better day than the Eagles, which is very telling and very good to know. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year. And I feel like the most important thing, really, it's kind of hard to grade the offense as far as because the Browns going to run the football. The Eagles going to run the football. I feel like that part of it, and the Eagles is down there super team. But I feel like that part of it is kind of hard to get took out of. But I feel like in just the offensive line versus defensive line battle is the most important story more than anything, and how the receivers and corners held up against each other. It seemed like they both had pretty a good day. Jalen Hurts completed more passes than Deshaun, but you got to keep in mind that a lot of Jalen Hurts passes probably would have been sacks with all the pressure that they were getting on that offensive line. And then it was a couple of injuries. Jack Conklin went down. So I wonder if DeJuan Jones finished out as the other right tackle on the other side. I wonder how he did against that Eagles defensive line. But yeah, overall, the Browns winning a practice and having more energy and outplaying the Eagles in the practice. We're going to see how they do tomorrow. Usually when you outplay the Eagles or you outplay a team, they come back the next day and win. So we're going to see how the Eagles respond to that. I really wanted to get you guys feedback on this. Is this something that's it's just practice? Is it I'm going to take everything with a grain of salt. The Eagles also said Deshaun looked much better than he did last year. So that's still even across the board that Watson looked good despite. They said that our skill players didn't impress them that much. Cooper had a lot of drops, so obviously. But, DPJ, Njoku, our skill players that was trying to get up and really didn't do a good job of pressing them. Y'all see this bug flying around trying to get killed. But, yeah, man, y'all comment down below how y'all feel. I'm going to do another practice report only because that, the Eagles and the Browns probably won't play their starters on Thursday. So I'll give you guys, feedback on how the game is Thursday. But for the most part, we're going to be getting a lot of our information off these practice one-on-ones. It's good to hear Anthony Schwartz had a good day. I don't think Jack Conklin will practice tomorrow, so we're going to hear a lot about DeJuan Jones. And I don't think Denzel Ward will practice. So we should hear a lot about Greg Newsome. So we're going to hear a lot about some of these key players that we really haven't got a chance to hear. We're going to see if Anthony Schwartz can have a good day. That Anthony Schwartz story is something to keep in mind with, just because if he has another good practice and he plays good for the first time in forever in a game against the Eagles, he might secure himself a roster spot. That might be all it took. He didn't drop a ball today. So we're going to see how he looks against the Eagles on Thursday night, because they're definitely going to roll him out and play him. But you guys comment down below. Let me know how y'all feel about this. I'm going to drop screenshots, or I should have dropped screenshots all throughout this video, just giving you all details of what I'm reading and what I'm talking about as far as what I see on Twitter. But it's your boy, Will. You guys have a blessed one. We're going to be back with day 2 of the report and see what everything come back as. And I'm going to give you guys a report and how I feel about everything that I'm hearing. And I'm out. Peace.